get out in touch with society, out of society, he had to go fully primal.
I go fucking back.
Scotty, you are a character. You're the best kind of character. I watch you all the time.
Did that taste like E. coli whenever you've been into it?
How would you know what that tastes like?
E. coli.
Tasted like freedom.
Did anybody else eat it too?
Freedom.
Yeah, freedom from your...
No, you see, because I'm the only one with the kahunas to do it.
No. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
How are your kahunas feeling last week?
It actually didn't affect it. You know, so they're a little bit swelled. But
Let's talk about Scotty's nuts.
yeah, I know, because they're fucking huge. And welcome back to UnWoKeN, telling you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you motherfuckers who don't want to listen. Here today, we have a full house. We have Mr. Pakman, James.
What's up, Scotty?
We have Mr. Alex Mejia. Panda is back. Panda, show him the sweater.
Oh, this. I gotta find the button.
Yes, yes. Carter Semino behind producing this amazing show with an ugly ass jacket on, even though we still love him. All right, folks, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Also, check out Acadiana the Cast Network on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Plugs, everybody plug in your plugs. Mr. Pakman.
CMC Magazine on Instagram.
And the Poker Room podcast here on Acadiana the Cast as well.
Yes, sir.
Panda, how many underscores?
It's underscore 3 times Panda.
All right, and Alex has no social media. How you doing off the grid still?
Fantastic.
Good. You still feel connected to society?
Yes.
Folks, sorry about the delay in shows. Kind of had a bad case of a deer heart, and yeah, everybody get it out while we just get it out.
Yeah, remember when we talked about you going primal and eating a deer heart? Make sure you put that video in post on top of what we're talking about so that people can have context if they didn't see the previous episode.
Yeah, and what you shouldn't do, because the Liver King is a liar.
Oh, eat hot liver. You can't eat cold liver. Just like you can't eat cold deer.
Can't eat cold liver.
You can't eat cold deer heart.
The deer heart wasn't cold.
Well, it was semi-cold.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't semi-cold?
No.
It's like fresh kill. You gotta cut it out.
Yeah, I know. That's what I learned. Yeah, I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, folks, we had a heavy topic that we talked about last show, religion. Now we're about to hit another heavy topic. We're going to talk about Mr. Jerry Jones and that picture that surfaced back in 1957. But before we do that, let's hop into some of the biggest news to hit the world. The exchange of Brittney Griner for the Merchant of Death, Victor Boot. Mr. Pakman, how do you feel about that, sir?
God honest, Scotty. Anybody but Victor Boot, we should have traded off back. Anybody but Victor, because, like to say like this, we traded off Victor for Greer back. Excuse me if I said our name wrong, but did we give the guy back to blow us up?
Well, Russia won that trade for sure. I mean, President Trump wouldn't trade Paul Whelan for the guy, and that's a Marine that's still imprisoned in Russia, because he knew that would be horrible for this animal to get back out. Because you know what's going to happen now. Russia's in the middle of a war with Ukraine. What happens whenever you just release the biggest arms dealer in the world? What's going to happen now?
Yeah, he owns more planes than most militaries.
Dude, he can drop off these weapons in multiple locations with the snap of a finger.
Yeah, he owns like $1.2 billion in jets and cargo jets.
Yeah, he has 60, I think it's 60 planes.
Yeah, it's something stupid.
Yeah.
I was reading all the facts on it a couple days ago.
And the planes, the drops that he has are so precise. It's unreal. He can pinpoint drop them at any specific spot in the world. And he doesn't care who he's arming. That's the thing.
Hey, whoever pays the most money.
He's an equal opportunity arms dealer.
Yep.
He doesn't discriminate. Unlike maybe Jerry Jones, but we're going to dive into that a little later.
Was that the only trade offer we had?
So far, apparently, the Biden administration tried to get Paul Whelan back. That's the word on the street. We could have gotten Paul Whelan back. If we were dealing back Victor Boot, we could have got Brittany Griner and Paul Whelan. There's no doubt in my mind. You just have to be strong with a guy like Putin. You can't make Putin look bad in public. But behind closed doors, if we would have said, look, we'll give you Victor Boot, but you got to give us back Griner and Paul Whelan, I'm sure something could have been accommodated. Still, that is a very, man, I just, oof.
It's not too late. I mean, if you think of it like a sports trade, we might get some future picks down the road. But this was about the story. With Putin, like you said, he doesn't like to be wrong or in the wrong light in public. Mm-hmm. He wants to be the winner, and this was a big egg on the face for the USA and a big win for Russia.
Yeah, that saying that the U.S. used to have, that we don't negotiate with terrorists. Yeah, we kind of just negotiated with a terrorist.
I ever seen that video
for
where
like 20-something years?
Putin, he's like walking down a hallway and he like salutes like a pigeon. The pigeon like salutes back. I feel like that's a hard man to negotiate with. He just gets what he wants.
He's a former director of the KGB. I mean,
I'm just saying, like, if I were walking down the street and I just saw a man just randomly salute a bird and that bird salutes him back, I'm like, I don't care what he wants. Let him have it.
Well,
that wasn't fake news. That was a real bird.
I don't know. It might have been a robot. I don't know. Maybe the birds are watching us. I don't know.
I think the story here, the bigger picture is, look, people like to travel, understand, but and God rest his soul, Otto Warmbier, the kid from Virginia, who lost his life from North Korea. If you're going to travel to a communist or a dictatorship-ran country, why? Why are you going to even go there? You want to say that, okay, I went to this place?
Well, second off, why would you travel with marijuana
exactly.
to another country?
You've been playing basketball there for...
Well, that's why she was there to answer, like, why would you travel there? Because Russian basketball, for women, at least, there's a lot of opportunities.
The question is why are they bringing narcotics or what?
Yeah, that aspect narcotics is absolutely stupid.
Yeah. If you're going into a communist country, you know the rules, and you know the penalty of if you get caught, why the fuck are you even going to chance it? Now, you could say that maybe she's been getting away with it because she's a big star, and maybe this just played right into Putin's hands, this one scenario, which it could have very well happened like that. But still, dude, don't even take the risk. That's stupid. If you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
And she won a stupid prize for the U.S.
No, she didn't win the stupid prize because she didn't have to suffer for the stupid prize.
Yeah, but it made everybody else suffer.
And look, as Americans, we should all be.
She was there for like 9 months, wasn't she?
Yeah. But as Americans, though, we should be happy that one of our own is back. We should always be happy about that. But was it worth the risk?
Well, like Carter mentioned, women's basketball is pretty prolific in Russia. But have you seen a few, not to say anything about the Russian women, high percentage of big ugly bitches. So she's tall and nice.
Named Helga.
Tall, nice, really like a player. So over there, she big superstar. I know she was fucking a lot of bitches.
You think so?
I know so.
I don't know. I mean,
hell yeah, Griner was serving them up in Russia.
What you think about that, Alex?
I mean, about the fact that she was serving them up in Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, if I can get more in Russia too, I'd be there myself.
Hey, Alex said we're going to the red light district, baby. Oh, that's Amsterdam. I'm sorry.
No. I'm married. I would just take my wife there.
They have
You would go to the red light district though with your wife and have a great time. You'd be showing her off. Look at these thighs. She's so thick.
She's juicy. I can't even, man. I can't. All right.
But I feel like everybody, whenever they were seeing that whole thing take place on the news and whatnot, I feel as though that there was a big concern that everybody. I feel as though the fear about the situation runs way deeper than just what we saw. I don't think it's a matter of who they traded, but what I guess there's a deeper concern with the whole issue of trading the merchant of death. What do you think that is, Scotty?
The deeper issue is?
Yeah, it's like it's not it's like it's everybody. If you look at it on the surface, it's we traded a WNBA player for the Merchant of Death, but I feel as though everybody knows it's something else is going on.
Oh, is this what you were talking about in the vehicle the other day?
Yeah.
Like the puppeteer.
Yeah.
Like Biden's not the one really calling shots.
Y'all don't feel that way? Y'all don't feel like there's like some kind of larger game at play here?
Well, yeah, it's politics.
It has to be.
Yeah, and it's, I'm just asking y'all, like, what do y'all think? What bigger game?
Are you asking if we think the man with dementia is running the free world?
No.
Because I got a quick answer for you there, buddy.
No, that's not what I asked. What I asked Scotty is, I guess what I can say is that what I've voiced is that I feel as though that there is a bigger plan at play, right? And I feel as though that's what everybody's afraid of. And I guess what y'all think is the larger scheme that's happening.
To appeal to his base?
Huh?
To appeal to his base?
Who?
Biden.
Well, whose base? Well, he has a base?
Yeah. The liberal base to say you got to win. You got to win.
So there was a press statement that was released last week.
He looks good on his side for getting her back.
It was on Fox. They said on Fox they were interviewing a CIA agent about John F. Kennedy's death, and he asked the CIA agent, "Did CIA go for John Kennedy's death?" And they said, "Yes, we played a part in John Kennedy's death."
And you know who I think who killed John F. Kennedy? I think the mob killed him.
No, they say the CIA had a part in John Kennedy's
Carter?
death, letting it happen.
I'm not touching John F. Kennedy. We're talking about Brittany Griner.
Yeah, we're just going down the conspiracy theory hole.
All right.
I'm just saying. You said there's bigger parts in there, and I think.
But it's politics, though.
I think the mob killed John F. Kennedy.
But
I think they did.
but
John F. Kennedy
but
was
to
in the
answer
mob.
to answer
He
your,
has ties.
to answer
the
your
CIA
question.
knew it was going to happen.
To answer your question, though,
Pakman, I'm not dropping this JFK shit.
It's what it is.
to answer your question, Alex, it's politics, so there's always a bigger picture at play.
So what do you think the big fear is?
The big fear of the Merchant of Death?
No, yeah, like you're saying that there's always a bigger game at play.
He deals death.
He literally deals arms of mass destruction to anybody.
Is that the only guy they asked for?
I mean, I don't know the details of it, but
I highly doubt it.
but
Yeah, that's
if
probably
they want, I'm
classified
telling you,
information.
Russia came away with the win here.
It's probably classified information. Who they asked for?
Yeah, they're not going to release that to the public.
Yeah, that's gonna be 50 years.
But just
before we
that
know
guy, we want the Merchant of Death. Like, it was no
They want
other
Victor
person.
Boot.
No other person Russia wanted back.
But it pertains to them right now because what's happening right now, they're losing the war in Ukraine. Putin's losing popularity in this country because they're losing the war in Ukraine. So how do you get things back in order? You get the biggest arms dealer in the world off back to your home country, and now he just arms everybody.
Well, technically, the biggest arms dealer in the world is the United States supplying all the arms to Ukraine, but
We do it legally. We do it legally.
I don't believe that for a second. We do it legally. We take money out of the American people's pocket to pay for it. So where's the legality in that?
Congress approved it.
It was voted.
Congress approved it.
Maybe instead of I should say legal, I should say moral.
Yeah, I think that's what you were coming from. It's morality.
Hey, President Trump tried to do the same thing. They blocked him.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna voice my opinion and y'all could just tell me what y'all think about this. I feel as though, and this is just a personal opinion, I feel as though that everybody is kind of aware of the fact, even Carter suggested a minute ago, that Biden is a puppet. I feel as though everybody's kind of coming to that conclusion that we've
been there, baby. We've been there.
So it's
That's essentially how Trump got elected. Is he wanted to drain the swamp and get rid of this elite that was controlling things behind the scenes. And he called out a lot of shit when he was the president. But you are definitely seeing that now firsthand with President Biden.
Yeah, so it's just obvious to everyone at this point.
It's been obvious, man.
All right.
Yeah.
All
Before
right.
we get to Biden, one more thing.
Back to the JFK.
No, not JFK. If we're gonna trade off the Merchant of Debt, we'll take Brittany back. The guy Scotty said, "All right, Russia, take your satellites out of spaces. Spaces for us. No more satellites from Russia." And there's one more thing I would take from them. It's not the bitches, but what else I would take from them? Definitely space.
Vodka.
Space would be for us.
I don't think space was on the table, the negotiating table.
I don't even know if Biden knows that we have a space force.
He has to know. He has to know.
I mean, I don't know if he knows we have that yet. He probably hasn't been briefed. It's probably too much. for him to take in at one point.
In his defense, the Space Force is like, it's new, but also like what a ridiculous premise. Like I love it. I'm glad we have a Space Force. Like, I mean, it makes more sense.
I think it's badass.
But it's just a wild thing to be like, oh yeah, we do have a Space Force, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Cat Williams says, Joe Biden wakes up one day, he's just like, where did I put the army? I swear I had it just the other day.
No, the best one I saw was Joe Biden. Please stop calling him Brandon. He's starting to think it's his real name.
Well, old Joe is cleaning up behind himself. You see, it was a policy he pushed about the late 80s, the crack and the cocaine laws, where you get more time for crack. Now, I don't know if you guys seen it. They passed the bill, reversed it to where you get the same time for cocaine and crack, because the crack laws was real harsher than the cocaine laws. You'll get maybe like, for 500 grams of cocaine, you'll get, 2 years?
500 grams,
5
you only
years.
get 2 years.
And for 5 grams of crack, you'll get maybe 10.
500 grams, that's like a pound and an eighth.
You got to pull it up. Whenever you get time, guys, pull it up. But y'all know what I'm trying to get
Well, let's
to.
use that then. Let's use that to transition to what we were talking about earlier, because we all know Joe Biden's voting record in terms of civil rights and things of that nature. So how does a man like that in this political climate get elected after his previous voting record? Now, that can tie into, do we use people's past against them? Kind of like what they're trying to do with Jerry Jones. We all know the picture that surfaced. Carter might be able to put up the picture from the Washington Post up on the screen. That the article, yeah. That is a 14-year-old Jerry Jones standing outside of a Little Rock, Arkansas high school. Now, he didn't give the best explanation. And one thing I do want to make clear, and I'm sure everybody here...
We have the explanation here if you want to watch it real quick.
Yeah, play it for us.
Please.
That was, 65 years ago, and a curious kid. I didn't know at the time the monumental event, really, that was going on, and I'm sure glad that we're a long way from that. I am, and we just that would remind me just continue to do everything we can to not have those kinds of things happen.
Any regrets of just being in the photo, being there at all?
What?
Any regrets on being in the photo, being there at all?
Well, I wouldn't have just dug that up for sure.
Right.
I mean, seriously. But that was curiously, I got criticized because I was more interested in how I was going to be punished by my coaches and everybody for being out front. But nobody there had any idea, frankly, what was going to take place. You didn't. We didn't have all the last 70 years of reference and all the things that were going, and so you didn't have a reference point there. Still, I've got a habit of sticking this nose in the right place at the wrong time.
Did you get?
So before I ask y'all two this question, because y'all two obviously it affects more on a different level than it could affect me, Carter, and Panda. I want to say this though, and I'm sure we can all agree in this room. A lot of times nowadays you hear a lot of people on the left saying, oh, if I was back in 1875 or 1800s, back whenever slavery was legal, I would have fought against it. I'm sitting here saying that's bullshit. All right, to sit here and say that you would have been different, you would have been the same person you are today back in 1875 is completely utter bullshit.
I believe you, because like everybody wants to be Oscar Schindler, the guy who saved a bunch of Jews during the the Holocaust. It's like, no, you didn't. No, you wouldn't have. It's like you think that all the people that were there around the time. It's like, are they bad people because the whole idea is that they kind of, what is it, like a lie of omission? Is that what it is? Where it's like, what's going on, but you choose not to do anything. It's like most of those people knew if they did something about it that it would affect their family. It's like, well, if I knew that standing up against the status quo would put my family in danger, most people would recognize, like, no, I'm not going to do that. It's like, it takes real strength and real courage to actually be a hero, to stand up against the status quo, to stare into the face of adversity, and accept the consequences. It's like it takes a lot, so it's like, if you think that you're going to be the one in a million kind of people who are actually capable of doing that, it's like you have a sad reality coming to you. It's like, if you want to look back on history and use today as some kind of moral high ground to say that, well, if I was back then, this is what I would do. It's like, well, hindsight's 20/20. So it's like, yeah, if you're looking back and looking at how the situation was, you would be like, oh, well, now that I know all these things and what occurred, well, of course, then I'm gonna be different than everybody else. It's like, BS. You're not different today. If you were someone that was different, we would know by now. The people that actually, the people that actually stand up to try to make a difference, we know who they are. I mean, some of them aren't public. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people out there that are doing a lot of good, but they understand the adversity and the trials and the tribulation that it takes to be someone to stand up against, I would say, the horrors of the world. So we all know that anybody who makes those claims, it's like you're just trying to find some kind of, high horse to
moral high ground for yourself.
Yeah, that's all you're really doing. You're trying to flash virtue. It's like, we all know what's really going on here. If you were someone of virtue, you would be demonstrating that today. Don't try to sit here and say, if we go back in time, that things would be different. It's like, no, you wouldn't. It's like, most of those people, it's like he says, I know, like he said, he's not really the best at explaining himself, but isn't he like almost 80? I mean, I imagine he's not, as acute mentally as he would if maybe he was in his 20s or 30s, so it's like, I think what he was trying to get a point across is that, we didn't know what was going to happen.
So do we hold him accountable for that picture?
What really can we do at this point, Scotty? It's just water under the bridge. But if you chime into the picture, he was in the back looking to see if this fight was going to go on like a schoolgirl. He knew what was going to happen. Like, it was probably talking in the back, like, when we get to the front, it's going to be a brawl. So he was looking to me. That's what the picture shows me, that he was looking to see an actual fight. The guy that was in the front with the cigarette, he was ready to go to war, to me. So Jerry, it was problems with Michael Irvin's contract. Mm-hmm. It was problems with Emmett's contract.
And he did institute the salary cap.
Well, shit, you've been holding your nuts on certain players for years. It was never a problem for Troy Aikman or Joe Novacek. They got their money.
He's also been accused of some years of shady hiring practices.
The Rooney Rule, not applying the Rooney Rule.
Right.
To say this, that was 16 years old. When something is
14,
when something is embedded in you, you can try your best to take it all out, but you still at least have an anklet, just an anklet. That was the times. That's something that he was accustomed to, was embedded in him, was taught. So now the world is at a different place. So maybe he's not 100% that way, but I still give him 5.
Yeah, Pakman, do you think it surprises black people when they see a picture of an 84-year-old rich white dude who gets shown back in the segregation South and participating in it? Is that really is that a shock for anyone really in the black community?
No, not at all.
Or was it just same old shit?
Yeah, fuck it. We can expect that. The cat's out the bag now.
Yeah,
that's all it is. That's been going on before. It's gonna be going on once we die. It's just the way of the world.
We see, y'all know my favorite TV personality is Stephen A. Smith. And Stephen A. said that at 14 years old, do we all want to go around and explain ourselves what we were doing at 14? Do we?
So I guess let me ask, what is the core of the issue? Is the issue is should we defend our past selves, or is it more of a racial issue?
It's at what point do we say the skeleton's in the closet? At what point do we draw a line and say that was immature? That was a very immature version of that person, or do we hold them accountable at all times, no matter what age they were? All the past, all the skeletons in the closet, aired out. They have to answer for everything.
Well, I think Jerry Jones, we hold Jerry Jones on a pedestal as the prolific guy that we wanted him to stand on business, meaning own up to what you've done. But that can affect business, so he can't really say what he wants to say. But it shows a highlight of his character. Shall I say that? You really want to justify it. Like, yeah, this is the place where I was when I was young. No, America, I am not this guy anymore. This is not my way of life. I was young. I was naive. This is just what was going on. I didn't agree with it, but it was detrimental to my safety. Now I've grown. I'm a different guy. I have a family of my own. Everybody, sooner than later, fellas, it won't be one. It's going to be one race. Everybody's going to be mixed in.
The picture show looks like it's taken during segregation.
65 years ago.
It's during integration.
Is it integration?
Yeah.
Like, it looks like a kid. It looks like a kid. I can't remember how old they said he was.
It was a backyard brawl.
He was
That's all
14.
it was going to be. Look at that guy with the cigarette.
He's 14.
He's definitely gonna rock with his boys.
Yeah, that's all it was a brawl.
This is almost 60 years ago.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean,
people have changed in 60 years.
They
altogether
can
as a whole.
I don't think people
you've
change.
changed, but
People don't change though. I think
Still
they become
angling.
the better versions
if
of themselves.
It showed them in a Klan outfit, it would be a whole different scenario.
That's a different ball game.
Yeah. Or
In
him
my
taking part in Klan activities. That would be a whole different event than what it is right now.
But then again, you can make the argument that they're not even wearing their hoods. They're just showing who they are right there.
Yeah.
That could be the argument made.
Yeah.
I think that Pakman was making a good point. It's like during integration, it's like they didn't know what was going on, but at the same time, he knew what was.
Oh, they knew what was going on,
You
dude.
know,
I mean, that's plain.
he
that's
knew,
being
like he
stupid.
said, like he knows that there was a good chance that there was some kind of probably a violent outburst and stuff like that. And I actually remember talking to a lady. I'm not going to say her name, but she's a very nice lady. She's absolutely wonderful, but she was up there in age, let's be honest. And she would tell me stories about what it was like whenever they were integrating into schools and stuff like that. And she said that there would be violent outbursts all over the school, and it was common. You know, so it's like for Jared Jones to sit there and say, you know, like I was just curious. It's like we knew what he was curious about.
Yeah, I'm gonna call bullshit on that because at 5 years old, I knew whenever my dad's players would say, "Coach, don't go past the stop sign," I knew what was going on. Why we couldn't go past the stop sign?
Yeah, I don't think it's
I'm not-
bullshit.
it's-
I mean,
you know what's going on.
Right.
I think-
Don't play stupid to it. Own up to it. Say, look, I was there. Here's what happened. I take ownership for it. That's that.
But Alex is right, because if he would have rebelled against that, we probably wouldn't even be talking to Jerry Jones now.
Yeah.
Look how scrawny he is in this picture. That guy with that cigarette mean business, man. It'll fuck Jerry up, man. Jerry might have had dementia or Parkinson's right now, fucking around. So what he played the cards he had at that point, if you want to look at it at that point of view.
yeah, I think it's more like with people. It's like, you know, think about it. Whenever there's a wreck on the highway, what do? We all slow down. You know, like, oh, what's going on? What's happening? It's like for some reason, as people, we're kind of curious about stuff like that, stuff of a morbid nature, if you will. You know, so it's like at the end of the day, I guess in my opinion, it's not really like you said. It's like that was the times. You know, it was, I mean, and with that time specifically, it was a little bit more unpredictable. You know, it's like, I guess the question is, you know, for everybody that's looking at that, it's like, is the problem, you know, they feel as though, you know, that there should be some kind of reprimanding of Jerry Jones for something that he did 60 years ago? Or are they just trying to label him someone that's like a racist?
Well, now they're tying in his actions with not applying the Rooney Rule, being the owner who added the salary cap. Now they're starting to tie in whenever Colin Kaepernick took the knee, whenever he told his team, "You're not going to take a knee." I mean, given he knows what affects his bottom line.
So what you're saying is everybody's seeing that this is like some kind of racial issue?
Yes.
All right. What kind of racial issue is it? Like what is the issue, if you will, for anyone? I don't get what the deal is.
It's the media doing what the media does best.
I think it's something personal. Someone Jerry ticked off.
Thank you.
Dug that up.
Dan Snyder.
They dug that up.
Y'all remember what Dan Snyder, the former owner of the Redskins, formerly known as the Redskins, the Washington Commanders, whenever they got rid of him, he said, "I have dirt on every single one of these owners."
Yeah, now he's getting outed.
He's gonna out. I think this has something to do with Dan Snyder because it came out of the Washington Post.
Well, I'm saying Dan's getting outed right now. Like
what?
Well, as far as like out of the
out of the league, yeah. But I mean, think about it.
Commanders played tough this year.
He's getting outed, and it came out of Washington.
So what are they hoping to get from releasing this photo of Jerry Jones?
Oh, Dan Snyder just wants to get everybody up.
What does that mean?
He's pissed because he's getting driven out of the league.
We understand that. What I'm saying is, or my question is what is the outcome that they're hoping for?
They want to kind of hurt Jerry pockets, which they can't.
Hurt
They'll
everybody.
never in a trillion years hurt Jerry's pockets.
Yeah.
He has
But
the
it's just
richest
scrutiny
franchise.
to his character. You know, that's all. They want to hurt his pockets, scrutiny to his character, and just have people just look at him in a different light. But
Yeah, the
They're
Cowboys.
just trying to mess
personal
with him?
vendetta.
They're trying
Yeah,
to basically
trying to
push
mess
him out
with
of his position.
That's it.
Do you really think that they can push him out of his position with a photo that's 60 years old?
The richest sports franchise in the world. No, they can't push him out.
I mean, I didn't think so. I think what it sounds like is that they're just trying to mess with him.
That's it.
They want him to just disappear from the franchise. Basically.
Yeah, this is not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, but some people would disappear from the franchise if they saw that.
But what it does, what people fail to realize is what happens every time something like this happens is it causes an argument between people that doesn't need to be there. All right, yeah, we could talk about race relations and stuff like your background's different than mine, your background's different than his. We're all from different backgrounds. All right, and we don't know what it's like to walk in anybody else's shoes. But shit like this, what happens is it turns everybody against each other, trying to some people defend Jerry Jones. Some people go after Jerry Jones. Some people play the mutual part. Whenever you play the neutral card, you're just as guilty as everybody else.
Hold on.
Asking about Kyrie.
And I don't even want you guys to say
But the
that.
king,
The king.
When I watched Kyrie talk and he says, I know who I am, but I want to keep the same energy when we're talking about my people and the things that we've been through. And that Jerry Jones photo is one of those moments that our people, black people, have been through in America. And I feel like as a black man, as a black athlete, as someone with power and a platform, when we do something wrong or something that people don't agree with, it's on every single tabloid, every single news coverage. It's on the bottom ticker. It's asked about every single day. But it seems like to me that the whole Jerry Jones situation photo, and I know it was years and years ago and we all make mistakes, I get it. But it seemed like it's just been buried under like, oh, it happened. Okay, we just move on. And I was just kind of disappointed that I haven't received that question from you guys. Appreciate it.
I want to address that. I'll defend Kyrie Irving. And you know what? Half my family's Jewish. That video that he shared on that documentary promoted on Twitter, very anti-Semitic. Very anti-Semitic. But at the same time, it's his freedom of speech. That man right there plays for my favorite team.
garbage.
And he's
Thank
still,
you.
and you know what? He's still he tries to be self-righteous, yet he refuses to speak out on China, how his shoes are made. Why is that? Why are you picking and choosing what you want to talk about? Kyrie Irving, say what you want about Kyrie, the man holds still on every single one of his positions, and he doesn't falter. That man right there falters on his positions. I'll stand up here and defend Kyrie all day. All damn day. And we have a difference in opinions.
Will you defend Kanye?
Yeah, absolutely. And he said some horrible things about
What are you defending?
his freedom of speech to say so. And I'll respect any man who stands on his convictions and his principles and what he believes in. If he's going to stand still and he's going to die on that mountain, I respect that.
So you're more mad at the outrage at Kanye than what he said?
I did not like what he said. That Alex Jones interview, man.
But it's one of those situations where two things can be true at once. You didn't like what he said, but you don't want him to be deplatformed.
No, I do not. I don't think he should be deplatformed at all. Because I know.
Just trying to clarify your.
Yeah, no. I will
your thought
defend.
process there.
I defend your freedom of speech to the end, no matter what. You have the right to say what you want to say, and if you stand on those convictions, more power to you. I think it was very responsible what he said, but he had the right to say it.
Also, why would anybody ask LeBron James after a game or during a practice about Jerry Jones? What does that have to do with basketball?
Really?
Yeah, and it seems like he was more upset that there wasn't more backlash for Jerry Jones. I'm like,
And he was upset they didn't ask him about the question. LeBron, if you want to talk about Jerry, go to the smoke box, talk to Mike Tyson, Carl Rogan.
He's got his own show.
Yeah.
He's got his own show.
Yeah, not what the reporters was supposed to ask you. They wanted to ask you the game.
He does his own show on HBO.
Yeah, the shot.
He's the world's most popular athlete, most famous athlete. He has a platform to talk about whatever he wants. And then he goes after the media for not asking about Jerry Jones instead of asking him something relevant in the league that he plays in against one of his friends in the league that he won a championship with. Fuck off, LeBron.
Now he wants to defend Kyrie, too. Now he wants to come out and defend him. I have a problem with that. I mean, if you're going to stand on that mountain, man, it's like I went back to saying, if you're going to stand on that mountain, stand firm in all your convictions. Don't pick and choose whenever you want to come out and defend somebody. Die on that hill. I'm willing to die on that hill for what I believe in.
Right. You got to stand on business.
even when you're wrong?
Even when I'm wrong.
Why?
Because that's what you believe in.
Well, I'm wrong. I'm sorry.
But we're not
If
saying
I'm
we're wrong.
I'm wrong, Alex. I apologize. I wasn't correct. That's all.
We don't say sorry on
I
this
guess
show.
you have to stand on what he believes. And just be like, all right, Alex, you're right that time. I'm wrong. But I still believe.
Alex, you're right. The bitches in Russia aren't all that fat and bad.
She got a few bad bitches.
I mean,
in Russia,
honestly,
but
I just care about my
overall. 60% of bitches in Russia are ugly. I don't know.
I
if
mean,
you
they
guys
could be
have
ugly.
seen
Where
it.
are you getting these statistics from? Scotty's book of statistics.
I've seen some Russian bitches,
It's a
man.
good book.
He's seen 5 of them and 3 of them were ugly. that's where he's getting the 60% from.
That's real world math.
I don't know. The Russian women ain't really my type. But
Nah, I'm just 100% attracted to my wife. That's all there is to it.
Oh, let's not get into this again.
And back to Kanye.
We will be here all day.
Yeah,
It's
let's-
just an old school incident of being pussy whipped and crying like another school girl, hollering for attention because the woman doesn't want him.
You think
You
that's
think
what it
that
is with
Kanye's
Kanye?
just acting out because he's not with Kim
He's just
Kardashian?
exposing everything like, bitch, you better take me back. If not, I'm just airing out your dirty laundry. And that's all that
I'm going
is,
after
man.
all your agents.
Everybody you know, just everybody in your all your constituents. Kanye's whipped, man. Why would you buy a house across the street? It makes no sense. He still loves this woman. This is a rant. And I don't feel sad for Kanye. He needs some help.
So you're saying if like half of like all the agents in Hollywood that he works with, if they weren't Jewish, if they're let's say like Hungarian, he'd be going just DEFCON on the Hungarians instead of the Jews?
I think that's just another excuse for him. He just went after the Jews. That's just Kanye, and the Jews and Kim Kardashian has a great relationship. He knows that. He knows that. If any one of you guys frequently visit LA, you'll know what I'm talking about. That's why I can say what I said about those Russian bitches. Because they're in LA, you see them. Not the Armenian women, because you know Armenia was once Russia. Okay. They're nice, which takes us back to Kim, who's Armenian. She's a nice bitch. And he's pussy whipped. Plain, simple, trying to expose every dirt, everything bad about Kim Kardashian.
I fucking love you.
Bought a house next door.
I fucking love you.
Probably jacking off in her window, watching her. The dude is sick. He's sick. Boosie said it on Vlad.
He's
And I don't
watching the
agree
Ray
with
J
everything
video.
Boosie. I don't agree with everything Boosie says. But when it comes to Kanye, I agree with what Boosie says, man. Kanye is sick and he needs some help. Oceans, Vermilionville, and that type of nature.
I agree with what Boosie said about D Wade.
I agree with that too. Sorry, D Wade. I'm sorry, Gabrielle Union, but
Sorry, Gabrielle
if
Union.
my son
That's
was
that's
walking
about
around
pussified
in a
somebody.
dress, fellas, we would not be doing this podcast.
Well, hold on. We want to talk about a pussified man.
I would be in Angola.
Gabrielle Union did it to
That's
Dwayne
not how
Wade.
I'm raised. I have no problem against gays and the LGBT. I have relatives that's gay, but I'd be goddamn.
That's not gay. That's
if
a lot
my
of 12-year-olds that
son
take hormone treatment.
dresses up and drag.
That's
I've
child
lost as a father.
That's child abuse.
What does that say about me?
That's fucking
I
child
must
abuse.
be a
man.
fucking punk to let my son. Oh, I'm sorry. Please,
No,
YouTube.
don't say sorry
Don't
on this show,
sponsor.
Pakman. We don't say sorry on this show.
Don't come back with backlash. I'm sorry for saying that word, but
What word?
Particular children.
right.
Well, no, that's child abuse, what they're doing to these kids.
I agree with that.
Allowing any kid to make the choice that's not 18 to take hormone treatments, child abuse.
Yeah. It fucks them up for life.
If you go back in the Bible, don't quote me on the verse. It says when you can't tell a woman from a man, the world is near. The end of the world is near.
Wait, see, I can't use the Bible. I can't use the Bible.
Don't quote me.
Actually, no, I know exactly.
It's something like that.
I know exactly.
It's in there, not word for word, but it's meant that.
Look. If I
One,
if
you're
I,
talking about the Book of Revelations, and that's actually not it. It's actually the changing of the season.
Hey,
Well, help me, Alex.
hey,
Help me out. You know,
we
what
have
you
to
were
be.
talking about.
We have to be very careful about quoting the Bible here because I don't want to get struck down for the irony. Now, that's why I don't use the Bible.
The views expressed on this podcast are not the direct views of a Acadiana cast.
well, everybody have their own opinion.
Well, you're damn
And
right.
And I believe in there is a God.
Oh yeah,
I believe in God. You know.
yeah. I was praying to one after this past week.
I bet you were.
No, I think all this ties into Kanye. Let's see, we go Kanye, then we go Dwayne Wade, all this and that. Well, Kanye and Dwayne Wade are two different scenarios. Dwayne Wade's just pussy whipped. Kanye, I think it's obvious he does need a little bit of help. In terms of what we're talking about, let's get back to what we're talking about with the entire situation, but it's the media. It all comes back down to the same common denominator, and that's a divisive media that picks and chooses whenever a story is released, whenever they want to get a rise out of people. And once we finally decide that enough's enough and we're not going to allow them to control the narrative, then maybe we can make a little bit of progress. Until we finally say that, until we realize that everything that they do has a purpose, like you said, a puppeteer behind the string, until we realize that that's what's going on in society, race, gender, all this nonsense going on, until we can actually realize that every single thing has a purpose to divide us, once we realize that, then we'll start winning. Until then, we're just going to keep on going in the same fucking cycle. We'll be getting the same arguments. You'll be tuning into the news, seeing the same shit, the same people arguing the same fucking subjects. But we're not smart enough to do that yet as a society. I think we are. I think we choose not to.
I completely agree with you. I've been waiting for you to come over to my side, to the blue
What you
side.
mean,
The blue side is better. Just this part of the room, not actually anything metaphorical. It's physical, like actual.
Oh, hold on.
Anyways,
let's get one thing straight,
besides the
son. You
fact-
just got into politics.
No, I didn't. I'm still not in politics. I just talked to you.
We're talking politics right now. And you don't even realize it.
I thought we were talking about sports. Oh, no, actually, we're talking about everything. We're talking about Kanye. We're talking about anti-Semitism. We're talking about everything here. So if you want to be specific.
UnWoKeN, baby.
No, I do.
Take it to the bank.
Poor Scotty Davis. No, so I definitely understand where you're
Lord
coming
Scott
from.
Davis to you.
That's where I come from. I feel as though the media is the problem. It's a dying industry, and they're trying to do anything and everything that they can to stay afloat. And what they're doing is that they're trying to create division. And the best way to get someone's attention is to be negative or say something, just cause any kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Conflict. Because that's what people pay attention to. So they want to take it and they want to conflate it as much as they can, to make it seem as ridiculous as possible. So because really all they're trying to do is draw your attention, and that's the age we are turning to, is the age of attention, where attention is actual currency, because that's what TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, that's what they're fighting for right now, is attention. How do we get someone's attention? You know, that's what the media is doing. They're playing a game. You know, they're trying to go all over the place to try to figure the best topics that people will pay attention to, right? But I think that it's because it's a dying industry, because now anybody with a phone, a camera, anything of that nature, you can literally look stuff up as freely as you want, because literally anyone who has access to a phone or computer is now a reporter. So it's taking jobs away from them. It's taking food off of the table. They're just struggling to stay afloat. And so whenever they're finding stuff like this whole Jerry Jones issue, it's like they're just trying to find anything and everything to talk about to get people to pay attention to them. And the best way to do that is to create division, to keep you distracted.
I think I'm a firm believer that it's fucking Dan Schneider behind that. But let's talk to our media guy, actually, our former news reporter, Carter. As somebody who covered the news, and you had to, like you talk about all the time, you had to piece together these long stories within a span of a minute and 30 seconds. You see all these freelance, quote unquote, freelance reporters. Do you find yourself, do you watch a lot of different sources just to see how they're operating now? Or what do you think's the, in retrospect, I'm asking you so many different questions.
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest problem with freelance reporting?
I mean, you could argue that you're a freelance reporter, so there's your biggest problem.
Well, biases, but
I mean, freelance reporters, I mean, I don't necessarily have a problem with it. Like you see a lot of like journalists who are leaving these big corporate entities that I think Alex is touching more on, to be independent and not have that oversight that traditional media has. And you also make a great point in saying that like it's outdated. I mean, most of the information that you get that you would get from the news 20 years ago is on your phone. So a lot of it is, they're grasping for straws. I mean, there's the saying that's if it bleeds, it leads. So, but they're doing that through, social media and attention and division and all that. Yeah, spot on. But I don't know if that answered your question, Scotty. Your eight questions.
There's nothing wrong with freelance, like you said, reporting, because that's what
I mean, that's basically what we do here.
Yeah, that's what
everybody
does.
It's the machine is the problem.
Yeah. It's not even really that. People are naturally their attention is naturally gravitated towards problems.
So the question should be, how do we awaken? Not awaken. This is UnWoKeN. How do we get people to the point of, look, you're being fucking controlled?
Well, we have to
think for yourself. How do we get people to think for themselves?
Nuclear war.
Yeah, that's death for all of us. Fuck.
We have to educate the people, because right now people mind, like with the media, is trained for ignorance.
We're in an age of utter and complete, I've said this a million times, we're in an age of pure and utter tribalism.
Would you call it buffoonery?
Buffoonery? I don't know, man. That's a little bit
out of his vocabulary.
Not Lord Scotty.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Receding hairline. You better come back.
Oh, shit. Get personal.
All right, E. coli.
Hey, watch it, Scotty. I got my hat on to hide mine.
Hey, I mean, no, I wouldn't call it buffoonery. I'd say it's tribalism, though.
He would call it dumbness or intellectualness.
That's a fucking actual word, motherfucker. I don't want to hear it. That's why I put the donkey sound bite after you.
But no, Scotty, Fox News figured out early on that 24-hour sensationalism news sells and makes money.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying Fox News is.
I'm not, but CNN, MSNBC, the rest of everyone else got on that train, and that's what makes money. I mean, that's what you see on like what's hitting on TikTok, all the things that or Twitter and all the different social media apps. It's the division. It's the anger, the angst. That's what moves stuff. That's what pushes people to want to consume content. And when you consume content, you get more space for ads. More space for ads is more money. It's kind of twofold. It's definitely money behind a lot of it.
And you know what my solution is to that? I think that people should pay more attention into the fine print of politics. Like go on HBO and watch The Swamp.
No one wants to do that. Shit's boring, Scotty.
Hey, look,
look at Alex. He's like, no, I'm going to watch Dragon Ball Z and call it a day.
Yeah.
Hey,
what he's talking
you
about.
want to be informed,
fuck
though?
with Dragon Ball Z.
You want to be informed?
Classic.
You want to start educating yourself on what really goes on? Look at the voting records of your local politician or your state or your representative in your
You
district.
can tell he was bored last week. Sitting at his house.
Was that me? Oh, you know how much I love politics, man. I could watch that shit all day.
That's what you watched the whole time while you were sick, right?
No, I watched the Santa Claus.
He's been so out of touch with society for the last week. No, so
Which is ironic because, you know, to get out in touch with society, he truly had to go fully primal.
I go fucking back.
Scotty, you are a character. You're the best kind of character. I watch you all the time.
Did that taste like E. coli whenever you've been into it?
How would you know what that tastes like?
E. coli.
It tasted like freedom.
Did anybody else eat it too?
Freedom.
Yeah, freedom from your.
No, you see, because I'm the only one with the kahunas to do it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
How are your kahunas feeling last week?
It actually didn't affect it. Yeah, I didn't have the much big of a sex drive, you know, so they're a little bit swelled. But, you know, I didn't have much of a release like I'm used to. But
Anyway, we're gonna get back on topic. I don't want to talk about Scotty's nuts.
yeah, I know because they're fucking huge.
Oh my god, Scotty, shut up! Oh my god.
I got pictures if you want to see.
So I wouldn't say it's necessarily a consequence of the machine. It's a consequence of natural human psychology, right? The problem is
Well, the machine has tapped into human psychology.
Well, yeah, but in reality, what happens is that we have this thing that's called the reticular activating system. It's literally what bias
He knows
is.
big words.
Shut up.
I'm gonna flick you in your fucking nose.
So what
you
happens?
guys have been in a car alone too long.
So what happens is that, you know, it's a natural filter, right? Because there's a lot of information at any given moment. You could literally look at just open your eyes and there's an infinite amount of information in front of you. You can go in more depth. The more you pay attention to something, you'll find more details, right? And then there's details on top of those details. And it's like you can get very specific about anything in the world, right? So the problem is that if you don't have that filter, then it's like you have information overload, right? So the way that our brain works is that it's supposed to filter all the unnecessary information. So the only information that actually sticks out to us is conflict, because whenever everything is going smoothly, our brain doesn't pay attention to it because it's too much, you know? Like whenever you're driving your car, you're not thinking, is my alternator working? You're not thinking, oh, you know, the pistons are firing and they're doing, like, you're not thinking about any of that. You're not paying attention to any of that. You're just, I can turn the steering wheel and I can get to where I'm going. That's the furthest that you can, you know, that you think of whenever you're driving the car. Most people, and the reason why is because it'd be too much information to take in everything, because there's an infinite amount of information, right? So the brain literally is gravitated towards problems. It wants to find, it's like, you know, A, B, C, D, E. It's like you've seen that your entire life, A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, E. Well, the moment you see A, B, C, E, your brain immediately wakes up and you're like, oh, that was a problem. Something's going on here, right? So your attention is now gravitated towards that. And then until you solve the problem, it's okay, well, now it's D. So A, B, C, D, E, right? So now it's back in order. So your brain is now back on, if you would call it autopilot. You know, that's when people consider themselves, or some people, sheeps, right? Because you're not thinking about what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And to be fair, if you are I would say a successful human, if you will, most of the actions that you take or habits that you have on a day-to-day basis is going to be automated. You're not thinking about it. You wake up, you do this, you know, most of your day is planned out and whatnot. And, you know, it's going to differ from person to person. But my point is that the brain naturally gravitates towards problems, right? So that's what the media has tapped into. They know that people are only paying attention whenever there's a problem, right? If they come on and they say that the weather is beautiful today, no one's going to click on the channel. Right? It's not necessarily, oh, the system is changing us. It's no, that's just how our brains naturally work. So what do we do about it? I mean, the only thing we can do is change human biology. But
Unless you're a nerd like me who enjoys watching politics.
I mean, yeah,
nuclear war. Come on, fellas. Nuke the world. Nuke the world.
Well, the holiday season's around, so Mr. Pakman, what are you going to be doing for your holiday, sir? Let's end on a happy note.
I'll be home, relaxing with the kids, because it's all about the kids for the holidays. I want them to enjoy Christmas and be in the Christmas spirit, enjoy all the festivities, drink a little eggnog, and relax.
Little eggnog, huh? Not too bad, not too bad.
Simple but plain. It's family time.
Mr. Mejia?
What am I going to be doing?
Your first Christmas as a married man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
The question is, what am I going to be doing?
Yes, sir.
My wife. No, I'm kidding. No, we actually have a. So this is going to be. How would I say this? This is going to be we normally as a family, we always celebrated Christmas with my grandma, and everybody in the family would come over, and my grandma would cook. But she passed away 2 years ago, so we haven't been able to do that. So we've missed 2 Christmas, celebrations. So this year it's like my wife really went all out with getting the gifts for everybody, getting stockings for everybody, making sure that all the gifts are wrapped for everybody. We're gonna have everybody coming over. We're gonna be cooking a huge meal, and it's gonna be absolutely fantastic. So as a first-time husband, first house, first ever, I would say Mejia Christmas tradition, it's going to be really awesome. So I'm super excited about that.
That's awesome.
It's up to us to continue the legacy that our grandparents and forefathers before us.
Yeah.
That's tradition for us,
Yeah, which I want to call out my mom. She's talking about, oh, yeah, I'm not going to help. I'm just going to stand in the kitchen and point and tell you what to do. I'm like, no, you're helping.
This is happy
It's
times.
part of the tradition. It was always the grandma that did it.
Calling out mamas right now.
Well,
I'm calling out my mama.
Well, at least she's there. Since the grandparents died and the great uncles and the great grandparents.
Right, That's right.
It's division.
You're my spiritual guru. You're my spiritual guru.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I will add a little addendum. It does feel really nice, like this is the first year that I've worked for the company that me and Scotty work for, and
congratulations again.
Oh, thank you. And this is the most amount of money I've ever made in my entire life, working for this company, and it feels absolutely wonderful because of the provisions that we have now, we're able to give more, and that feels really nice. It's like I can give more to them and not have to feel that guilt of, oh man, I wish I could give them more. You know what I mean? That happens every holiday. You want to give your family as much as possible, but you also have to consider bills.
Right. Tomorrow.
Taxes.
Yeah,
Everything about tomorrow.
We're giving
Uncle
them.
Sam wants to take his fair share too.
So it
Mr.
feels
Panda,
really nice.
what are you gonna be doing, sir?
Oh, just hang out with the family.
Going back home?
No, my dad has surgery the 27th for a second stent in his heart. So I'm hanging out here. I'm in touch with him all the time.
Papa D, you got that ball.
We're praying for him. He's in our prayers, Panda.
Thank you. But yeah, I'm just cracking a couple parish brews and
I'll probably be over.
and then kick it over.
Yeah, I'll probably be
Yeah,
over.
I got
then.
a bunch of those bourbon barrel stouts that I picked up in the past year.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mr. Carter, what are you gonna be doing, sir?
Well, we're going to be going home back to Covington, back to the homestead, playing Christmas Eve Mass with the family, mom and dad, while my brother probably sits in the congregation and doesn't play with us. But so it's like almost the full family band. But we've been playing. I mean, they've been playing Christmas Mass, like used to do midnight Mass when I was a kid. But so that's a little family tradition. And then get together with family on Christmas Day and be on the lookout on Katie and Cass on our social medias. We'll be dropping a little music video kind of thing, live performance with Sarah Russo and Dustin Gaspaugh. They're playing a traditional Christmas song. We have another video that's already out where they did an original song that Dustin wrote called "Leave Your Lights On for Christmas." A really cool song, really pretty song. Christmas vibes all over the place. Go follow Katie and Cass wherever you dwell on social.
Awesome.
And what are you going to be doing, Scotty?
I'm gonna be carrying on my dad and I's tradition of sitting our happy asses on the couch and watching the basketball games Christmas Day.
That's wonderful.
A little Jim Beam.
Oh, a lot of Jim Beam. Pick me up maybe a case of Schlitz too, like I do.
Anybody that works for Jim Beam, consultant or marketer, if you hear this, please, and I demand you
Invoice.
to look out,
No
and
free
sponsor
ads.
and endorse Lord Scotty D.
Endorse this man.
No free
E.
ads.
coli. Just right there.
He's chewing, boy. That
No.
thing like it's an apple.
This
Look
guy,
at it. Look, yeah, it's delicious. Yeah.
this guy's another type
They
of
had to take it
animal.
away from me. I was gonna eat the whole thing.
Thank God you did it, huh?
It's just like, oh, it's still beating. Oh, look at you. Smack that button. Yeah.
By the way, Scotty, can we have a little of that backstrap?
God, you could just
gotcha, man.
you could
I
smell
gotcha.
the E. coli from the screen.
Hey man, it didn't taste too bad, just like an unsalted steak. Well, I gotta say, since we've joined the Acadiana Cast, this has been a hell of a year so far. We've made strides on the show. Pakman started the show, started the network. Panda's been rolling with me with this thing for a long time, since the beginning. Alex has been a consistent, valued team member, and we consider Alex part of the team here at UnWoKeN as well. We're gonna add you into a little intro, man. Give you a little intro spot.
Oh, by the way, don't ever use my face for a graphic ever again. That was the worst picture you ever could have used.
Hey,
This
hey,
light makes me look cross-eyed. God,
I'll pick a better one next time. We had to give you credit.
It's going to be a picture of you on
it's my network. You could. Acadiana Cast is fine. You don't even put my face.
Well, I figured you need a little bit more.
He's going to post a picture of you taking a doo-doo on the toilet.
Nah, I don't take those pictures, bro.
He's gonna have to do some digging. Probably
Nah.
find some weird
I don't
fraternity picture.
Dude, there's plenty of pictures of Carter on the toilet.
They do call me farter.
Well, Carter,
Yeah, they do.
You know, Scotty is the king of hazing.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
He'll haze you.
No idea what you're talking
Which
about.
goes back to the Greek. You know, you've been pushing it, Scotty.
No idea what you're talking about. I've never once.
Okay, has strict no hazing policy.
The gamified chapter of the Cap Alpha Order is a strict no hazing policy. But, all right, on a lighter note, folks, it's been a hell of a year for this show. Thank you, Carter and Acadiana Cast. Thank you, these wonderful gentlemen here who help bring this show more light each and every time we get behind these fucking lights, these beautiful cameras, this beautiful setup. All we have is to climb up from here, man. And, you know, as I'm not the most religious man in these times, but, you know, I'm grateful for all y'all. Y'all are my brothers. I love y'all all to death. And everybody who views this show, I love you too, Pakman. You're the man. Everybody who views this show, thank you for making it what it is. I mean, hell, we're just about a year and a half in. Rocking and rolling, about 85% of the way monetized on YouTube, baby. So let's fucking get it. And I look forward to growing with all y'all.
Try to do it before getting canceled.
Before getting canceled. Fuck you. Cancel my ass, man. Please cancel me. All right, maybe I can go fishing more. This is UnWoKeN. I'm Scott Davis, telling you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you motherfuckers who don't want to listen. Take care. It's a wrap, boys.